If your dog sleeps pressed against you, back turned, you have probably assumed it is just about comfort. Maybe you think they are cold, or they simply like being close. But what if that specific position, back against you, is not random at all? What if it is one of the clearest signals your dog gives you about how safe they actually feel in your presence? Once you understand what is happening in that moment, a simple sleeping position turns into something far more meaningful. 1. In the wild, backs are the most vulnerable part of the body. Think about how predators attack. They target the back, the blind spot, the place an animal cannot see or defend quickly. Wild canines instinctively protect their backs by sleeping in tight groups, positioned so that other pack members cover the angles they cannot watch themselves. When your dog turns their back to you and settles into sleep, they are doing something their ancestors would never have done around a threat. They are trusting you to watch the direction they cannot. 2. This position only happens with a specific kind of trust. Not every dog does this with every person, and not every dog does it right away. Behaviorists have observed that dogs typically only expose their back, the most defenseless position possible, to individuals they have fully categorized as safe. If your dog does this with you but not with a stranger, or not with someone new in the house, that is not a coincidence. It is your dog's nervous system making a calculated decision about who gets to be behind them while they are at their most unguarded. 3. Body heat is only part of the story. Yes, dogs seek warmth, and pressing against a person's body does help regulate their temperature. But researchers studying attachment behavior in domestic dogs have noted that dogs will often choose the back-to-owner position even in warm rooms, even in summer, when temperature regulation is not a factor at all. If it were purely about heat, the position would change with the seasons. The fact that it does not suggests something else is driving the behavior, something rooted in security rather than survival against cold. 4. This positioning mirrors how wolf pups sleep with their mothers. In wolf dens, pups instinctively arrange themselves so that their more vulnerable areas face inward, toward their mother or siblings, while the adult or more alert member of the group faces outward, watching for danger. Domestic dogs retain fragments of this instinct even though they no longer live in dens or face predators. When your dog sleeps with their back to you, some researchers believe they are unconsciously casting you in the role of the alert, protective figure, the one who watches the entrance while they rest completely undefended. And if this is making you think about how your own dog sleeps at night, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. We cover what dog behavior actually means, not what we assume it means. What we are about to cover next explains why this position specifically changes depending on how your dog feels about your relationship that day. 5. The position can shift based on your dog's read of the relationship in real time. Owners who track their dog's sleeping habits closely have noticed something interesting. On days following conflict, a raised voice, an unfamiliar visitor, or a stressful vet visit, some dogs temporarily stop sleeping back to owner and instead choose to sleep facing you, or at a small distance altogether. This is not permanent, and it does not mean the bond is broken. But it suggests dogs are constantly reassessing safety in real time, adjusting their most vulnerable behavior based on how secure the relationship feels in that specific moment. Here is what ties all of this together. Sleep is the single most vulnerable state any animal enters. It is when a dog cannot watch for danger, cannot react quickly, and cannot defend themselves the way they could while awake. Every choice your dog makes about how they position their body during sleep is a direct reflection of how safe they feel in that moment, with that person, in that space. A dog who curls up, facing away from you, back exposed completely, has made a decision that took generations of instinct to override. They have decided that watching for danger is your job now, not theirs. So the next time your dog falls asleep with their back pressed against you, understand that it is not a small, meaningless habit. It is one of the most vulnerable positions an animal can choose to be in, and your dog has chosen it with you specifically. That is not about warmth. That is trust, expressed the only way a sleeping animal can express it, completely and without words. If this changed the way you see your dog's sleeping habits, hit like. Drop a comment telling us if your dog sleeps with their back against you. And subscribe, because the more we understand what our dogs are actually telling us, even while they sleep, the closer we get to them.